So are gender and sex two different things?
They both are and they aren't. I'm comfortable saying that gender and sex are two different constructs, but they're deeply intertwined with each other.
If we're talking about a trans woman has all of the male physical characteristics, so would that not be male then? Couldn't we plainly say this person is a male?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really uncomfortable with that language.
All right, class, so today we're gonna be figuring out what is a woman. Because apparently in my 24 years of age, I never knew what a woman was, so I must find out. No, apparently I could be a woman, and I never knew it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're a fucking woman and you didn't know it. And if you are a woman, maybe you're a man, or maybe you have no gender at all. During this video, you're gonna find out. It might change your life.
In the state of Tennessee, I'm a licensed marital and family therapist, which basically means I've been trained up to think about like systems, family systems, how we were raised up, how that shapes who we are today.
So on your website, if you'll bear with me,
Sure.
Quoting, you say, I use a combination of approaches in my therapeutic work, including anti-oppression, feminist, and narrative frameworks. I rely deeply on systems theory and understanding that individuals are products of and in dialogue with our surroundings, including our families, broader culture, workplaces, nature, and political climates. What does that mean?
Yeah, so thinking about the modalities that I use, I'm definitely informed by like feminist family therapy, and the idea is that we live in gendered worlds where there are certain imperatives that are placed on us about who we are and what we do based on how we've been gendered. From the minute I was assigned female, I was told, okay, these are the kind of clothing that you're gonna wear, these are the kind of, the type of play that you're gonna engage in as a child, the path that maybe your life will take because of social expectations.
What do you mean by assigned female? Who assigns female?
Yeah, so most times people, when they're born, they're assigned a gender.
By the doctors.
Yeah.
Like, what do they base that assignment on?
So basically, it's based on genitalia. So people looking at genitalia and deciding, okay, this is a girl or a boy. And we know now that that sex and gender are so much more than just this binary.
And we know now that that sex and gender are so much more than just this binary.
I'm all for living your life, I swear to God. With this one life that you have, live it to the fullest. But not acknowledging the fact that no matter how you feel, there are two sexes. You got penis, you got vagina. Penis go in vagina, baby happens, all right? What that tells me is that nature says, okay, we have two sexes, the male and the female. They get together to reproduce, to continue on the human race, just like other species. I always feel like this argument is just so disingenuous and so feelings-based. Because you feel like you a man, because you feel like you a woman, doesn't make you a man or a woman. You're just a woman that feels like a man, or you're just a man that feels like a woman, which is okay. If you like more woman things, you can just be a man, but have more woman interests. There's nothing wrong with that. But to sit here and basically say, my feelings on the inside tells me I was born a man, but now I feel like I need to be a woman, and want everybody to be like, okay, you're 100% a woman, is crazy. No matter how much, if I wanted to be fucking white, I'm not. I'm black, alright? It ain't nothing changing that. If y'all can't allow me to run around and say I'm fucking Clark Kent, or I'm translucent and I'm invisible, and I can't walk into the bank, nobody look, cause I'm invisible. That's what I identify as. I'm an invisible man. Let me walk past the teller, grab them keys, go to the back, open the vault, snatch all the money out, and walk home and be rich as fuck. If I can't do that and y'all want to acknowledge me as being invisible, man, then you cannot go around and say you're born a man but now you're a woman, and vice versa. I'm sorry.
Women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas. That's not how gender works.
How do we know that that's not true? Where did we learn that from?
Yeah, well, I learned that from hearing from transgender people who've said, like, oh, I'm a trans woman, and just because I happen to have a penis, right, that doesn't mean that this is like who I am as a person, or that genitalia doesn't equal gender. Who they are, their gender expression, that, yeah, a trans woman is a woman.
With the fluidity of these things, how do I know if I'm a woman? You know,
I just said
That's
that,
a great
bro.
question.
I like scented candles, and
Yeah.
I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so how do I know?
Yeah, Matt, that question right there, like, that question is, like, when it's asked with a lot of curiosity, right, that's the beginning of a lot of people's like gender identity development journeys.
Bro, this is an educated, certified woman. Don't forget that. This ain't no regular random woman on Twitter. Has certificates to say that she's certified to speak on these topics. And she's basically validating feelings. Your feelings are not reality. It's like if you're going to accept this, then you have to accept all of the extremities. That means the racist white people, the KKK, that believe that black people aren't anything but dirt monkeys and we need to go back to slavery and we're idiots and our IQ is extremely low and we're subhuman. That is their reality. So are we going to just accept their reality and say it's true and that's how they should live their life? They should be able to go rape and kill black folk and hang them up because that's their reality and that's what they believe? Or are we gonna draw the line at that? Because we gotta draw the line somewhere, because we can't just validate people's feelings into reality. It's like when I was a little nigga and I believed in the tooth fairy because my mom finessed my ass and put $20 under my pillow and I put my tooth under it. I thought the tooth fairy was real until I figured out, wait, because I feel like the tooth fairy was real, that didn't make it reality. That shit was fake as fuck and I realized, damn it, my mom finessed my stupid ass.
If my mom who gave birth to me is a woman, and my wife is a woman, though I haven't asked her. Maybe I should.
Facts. My girl could
But
be
if
a
they're all
man.
women, and
Fuck.
also the boy who sits down with you and says, I think I'm a girl, actually is one, then what is a woman?
Yeah. Great question. I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Whoa, wait. Was that a trans man?
Therapy would make me less confused. Am I the only one feeling this way? I need to hit the road and find out. We're talking about gender in society. Let me start with a real basic question. What is a woman?
Before they answer, if y'all already catch on, I love this question because define what makes a woman if you're not going to say that she has the chromosomes of a woman and she have a vagina. If you're going to say that doesn't make a woman, then what makes a woman? Because as you can see how simple as it is, when you have people that believe in this delusion, they can't formulate an answer. It's so much mental gymnastics to make it sound real to themselves. They can't just simply answer it.
I don't want to assume, but you guys are all women?
We're all women. Yes, we're women.
So how would you define it, like in the simplest terms?
That is hard.
Yeah, it is. It is a stumper.
A woman is someone that likes to be pretty and think of themselves as a delicate creature.
I'm pretty and delicate.
Okay.
I could be a woman too.
Yes, you could.
Defining womanhood is just a project of someone who identifies as a woman.
Yeah, but what do they identify? You see what I'm saying? What do they identify as? They identify as a woman, but what is that?
I honestly don't know.
Dr. Marcy Bowers, first of all, thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure.
So you're a world-renowned gynecologist and surgeon. You're also a transgender woman. Can you tell me a little bit about...
Well, I mean, I identify as a woman, but...
You're a woman, right.
I'm a woman with, I mean, that's my life, day to day, but I have a transgender history.
So one thing...
This shit confuses me so much. So this is a man that's a man, but now he's a woman because he transgendered from a man. All right, I just had to clear it up because I'm like, why is it taking so long to just say I was born a man, I transgendered to a woman? I'm getting confused. I'm trying to make sure I got it down right because my brain trying to see one thing because of, you know, characteristics that go with women, but then it's
on your website it says gender affirming vaginoplasty. What is that exactly?
A vaginoplasty is the creation of a female vagina and vulva. We're altering the physical characteristics of the individual to fit better with a gender identity that is female.
What if one of these days, like, you know, time go on, surgeries get better, this transgender shit gets more and more normalized and more people start doing it? What if, like, you literally start getting catfished? You in a club, you can't tell that it's a man, you know, y'all get drunk, go back to the crib, you like, okay, you know, Dr. Miami has gotten so good, he don't do just BBLs no more. My boy got 100% on a Yelp review for ripping a penis's back and molding them into the vagina. You know what I'm saying? Shit look 100% real. So you can't tell, you like, hell yes, I'm about to dive into some guts. I'm off the Henny, I'm about to go crazy. And then you realize you can't tell the difference, and maybe, you know, they tell you after the fact, like, you know, I was born a man. I just thought I should tell you that. Like, what do you do? Your manhood has been stripped from you. You essentially have been raped. It's getting scary.
All constructed from the penis.
Yes, that's right. The surgeries are quite refined in the sense that they really, not only do they look like female anatomy, but they also function that way. For the most part. I mean,
They
certainly
look
it's
real
a bit
already.
of a Faustian bargain. You know, it's not perfect.
Does anyone ever regret their surgeries? Or, well, we know they do, but how often do people regret their surgeries?
Well, actually, we don't know that they do. There are legitimate detransitioners, and there are people who truly feel that in their journey, they may have made a mistake. Now, fortunately, this is a really, really uncommon phenomenon.
I don't know if you've ever heard of people in the trans-abled community. These are people who are physically able-bodied but feel like they should be disabled or identify as such. For example, a man who has 2 arms but feels like he should have 1. If a man in this kind of marginalized community went to the doctor and said, I want to have my arm cut off, do you think that?
That doesn't have anything to do with gender identity.
Well, it's someone's self-identity, how someone identifies.
That's someone who has and I'll accept it as a mental diagnosis.
Whoa, Miss Professor. All right, you know, it gotta be stagnant. You can't be picking and choosing what's not a mental disorder. Now, if a man starts to believe that he was supposed to be a female, he start mutilating his penis, and that's not a mental disability, a mental disorder, you can't say the man that believes he was supposed to only have 1 eyeball has a mental disability. You can't do that because he's identifying as a man with 1 eyeball, just like the man is trying to identify as a woman. As disingenuous at best, Miss Professor.
I don't even pretend to know what aptomenophilia is all about. But somehow it's the idea that you're fascinated or charmed by having a limb or part of a limb missing. Okay, I would say that's, pardon my non-medical language, kooky.
Kooky?
You don't see any? You think this is totally irrelevant?
Yep.
You can't make the correlation.
So, the biggest, broadest question is, but what is a woman?
A woman is it's a combination of your physical attributes and then what you're showing to the world and the gender clues that you give. And hopefully those match your gender identity.
No.
The critics on the other side of this, of this issue.
There aren't many, but go ahead.
There aren't many who would disagree with what you're saying about?
Well, the dinosaurs of the world are certainly out there.
If we're talking about a trans woman has all of the male physical characteristics, so would that not be male?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really uncomfortable with that language.
What if I said that it's my truth is that you don't exist? Does that mean you no longer exist?
I mean, if that's your truth, sure. I don't.
Bro, what?